Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the Ascension Playground. This is Ursie. Today, I'd like to show you how to use Astro.com to find your favorite gods and goddesses and where they show up, perhaps in your own natal chart. Okay, so this is kind of one of those fun games to share on the Ascension Playground that might just help gain another layer of, I don't know, energy and beauty narrative to your personal journey. So, if you're brand new to astrology and you've never visited astro.com, I'll take this very slow step-by-step progression to share this with you. Okay, so here we are. Excuse me while I scroll up. Okay, so if you Google astro.com or formerly called Astrodienst, you're going to find your way to the natal birth information. So you can go under horoscope. And what we're looking at, I just thought I would use Marilyn Monroe and all of her information because I was able to find her natal birth time. So everything works so well when you have that birth time. So here's how we do it. After you plug in all of your information, I'm using a natal chart wheel, Astrodienst style. Today is the 7th of October. Okay, and here I go. I'm going to keep going down. I've selected true node. I'd like to see where her compass for her life mission was pointing in this lifetime. I've also indicated to show me the 6 fixed stars in the zodiac. And I'd like to see the aspects to Chiron, Chiron being the wounded healer. Okay, let's see where her part of fortune was as well. So you can click information and then a chart based on what you've selected will show up. Now, here's the fun thing. Under additional objects, the second column says selection from following lists. One of the lists says asteroid name, number list with over 23,000 names to choose from. Okay, and under that, in case you like the fixed stars in the galactic astrology, you could click on this list of fixed stars to see which fixed stars may have shown up for your chart, or in this case, Marilyn's. All right, so what I'm doing is I clicked on asteroid name, and I wanted to see, when I think of beautiful Marilyn Monroe, I wanted to see if Aphrodite, the goddess of beauty, how she would show up in her chart. So I'm spelling out the word Aphrodite, but I'm also going to go under A, which I'm here. You can, whatever the name of the god or goddess, you go under the alpha. All right, so let me bring my screen down a little bit more. Now, here's the fun part. You got to go hunt for Aphrodite using your alpha sense. So LMNO, let's get down to the P. Sorry if this is going fast for you. Aphrodite. Well, I see Apollo. Okay, Aphrodite, here she is. I spelled it correctly. Now, when I click on that name, do you see the number 1388? That is showing up and it put itself right here into the manual entry. So I've got the name Aphrodite, which I hand spelled, and the number up here in the manual entry box. Now, I believe you can only put in 11 additional objects, right? So if you go to the 12th object in here, it's not going to show up. All right, so with Marilyn Monroe, what else do we want to look at with gods or goddesses? Who else? Let's see how Mercury, the god Mercury, let's see how this, not the planet, but the god, showed up in her chart. So I'm going to spell out the name Mercury, do a comma, but let's go see if there's a particular number associated with this wonderful god. He was the god who could go and fly up into the highest heights of the heavens with the gods and goddesses, and also go into the inner, down into the depths of the earth. So he could go between all the realms. Mercury, did I just pass you up? Merc. Oh, I see Mercedes, Mercado, Mercury, LMNOP. Mercury. So I'm not seeing Mercury, but he has another name. Let's go see if we can find Hermes. Only because I think that in her own way, Marilyn Monroe was a communicator. So let's see if the god Hermes helped her. So I've clicked on H. It's taken its time. I go scroll down, try and remember my alphabet. Okay. H-E, trying to get down to the R's. I know this takes a little time, but the rewards are there, especially when you want to look at your own chart. Okay, Hermes. So it's always good to know both names. H-E-R, going for the M, Herman, Herman Hesse, Hermanus. Ah, Hermes, here you are. Okay. And if you're really OCD, you can start tracking these numbers. So here I clicked it. Hermes is 69230. Now see, there's the planet Mercury, but there's the god Hermes. So I'm just going to use this as a taste test. When I'm done picking out all of the gods and goddesses that I wanted to find for Marilyn Monroe, oh, you want to do one more god or goddess? Okay, let's see. Who else comes to mind? Hmm, you know, let me try Hera. She was the wife of Zeus, right? And I'm on H. Let's see if Hera shows up. H-E-R. Oh, oh, here, Herrero. No, not yet. I got to still remember my alphabet. Hera. Oh, she's number 103. There you go. Okay, so we've got Aphrodite, Hermes, and Hera. We're going to go see where they are in Marilyn Monroe's birth chart. Now, what you do is you get your clicker and you click show the chart. Show me the chart. Here we go. Let's see how these gods and goddesses showed up on the natal chart of little baby Marilyn Monroe before she called herself Marilyn Monroe. All right. Wow. Look at this. Look at this. Again, we're on astro.com. So I want to double check the birth information before I start looking. Marilyn Monroe, 1st of June, 1926, 9:30 a.m. in Los Angeles, California. That matches the information that I wrote down. Okay. Before we get to the wheel, let's look. Her Mercury was in domicile. It loved being in Gemini. That makes sense. So she had a very strong Mercury as far as a planetary position. But her Venus, which is also associated with Aphrodite, was in detriment, not happy here in the sign of Aries. All right, with that little bit of information, let's move now to the chart. Well, what I first see is up here, Afro. Okay, so the name Aphrodite did not show up, not available, but the number 1388, Aphrodite, is at 0 degrees of Cancer, 24 minutes, 50 seconds when she was born. So let's see, Aphrodite showed up. Well, that makes sense. In the 11th house of moving out into the world of your networks. She was shown on the screen. She was shown, out in public. She moved out into the world in the 11th house, Aphrodite. We also notice she's at the very early degrees. Aphrodite sits at the early degrees of Cancer, and all the qualities that Cancer represents of home and nurturance. Okay, let's go find. Oh, here's Hera. Hera, remember, she is the wife of Zeus, who would be so upset every time she turned around. Someone else was with her husband, who was a philanderer, Zeus, right? Or Jupiter. So just looking at the goddess Hera. Hera sat in Marilyn Monroe's ninth house of exploration and philosophy. But oh my goodness, you can see Marilyn had a wound, a natal wound in Chiron, right? In the same house of, the big dreams, her big dreams. So this house says, imagine, like, explore far and wide. But there's a wound here next to her Venus. Remember, we said that Venus is in detriment in this position. So, hmm. So this is a full house when you look at the ninth house of Aries. So Aries is in the house of the philosopher. Oh, but look what we're seeing. Do you see this beautiful blue triangle? This big one right here. It's connecting her natal Pluto with her natal Saturn, with her natal Mars. Ooh, it's what's called a grand trine in water. Water representing emotions, emotional intelligence. So one would look at this chart at baby Marilyn and go, my goodness, she has great facility and ease to tune into these emotions as they relate to the fourth house of home, intensity of the house 8. And this is right on the cusp. It looks like it's the 12th house. Let me just connect here with Pluto. Let's see, Pluto, you are where? Pluto is sitting in Cancer. Okay, so yeah, it's just really right at that cusp of the 12th house. So being able to tap into the underworld, the deeper feelings, the subconscious, the ocean of all, this beautiful grand water trine. Now let's get back. We did Hera, who was the wife of Zeus. And so there's trouble afoot in this ninth house of exploration and expansion. But there's a lot of the beautiful Aphrodite is sitting in her 11th house of big networks out in the world. Now let's go find Hermes. Where did Hermes go? Hermes. Oh, you're saying that it's not available in either how I spelt it or. So let me go back. I'm going to go back to the chart because this is good to learn. When it's saying not available, but we saw it on the list, what I do is I scroll up here and I go back to the chart selection. And I click it and it takes its time. Dun, dun, dun. Now I'm going to go right here first. Hermes. Why weren't you showing up for me? So maybe I need an extra dash. I'm going to go under asteroid name. I'm going to go under H. I'm going to double check that number. And here's where we scroll and make your eyes a little dizzy. Okay, Hermes. But you can see as we're scrolling down how many names there are in here. Let's see. Dun, dun, I should have some music playing. Hermite. Hermia. Here's Hermes. 69230. 69230. I'm going to click it again. 69230. Come on. Add that. Okay, so you're not going to show up for me as Hermes, but you should be able to show up for me. Show me the chart. Come on, Hermes. How is she communicating? And here we go. Hermes, not available. Hera, Aphrodite. Okay, well, I'm stumped. I don't know why it could be on their list, but not be showing. Let me go back to the chart selection. Let's think about Marilyn Monroe. All those cameras, all that beauty, the external beauty, how she really wanted to be an actress. Okay, let's go find another god or goddess. Asteroid name. Here we go. Now let's think, what other god or goddess would be associated with Marilyn Monroe? What's coming up for me is Pandora. Let's go see if we can find Pandora, since Hermes is staying invisible. Pandora. Remember Pandora? She was the one that opened up the box and she was told, do not open that box. But she did. And everything popped out, the good, the bad, and the ugly. A lot of ugly. All right. So Pandora's number is 55. And that's how you spell her name. All right. Show us the chart for Pandora. I remember reading about Marilyn briefly about the struggles she had. What is she? Was she called something Jean, Nancy Jean? I can't remember. All right, Pandora, we found you because you look over here, Pandora, number 55, and let's see where she shows up. All right, so the goddess Pandora is showing up right here in Marilyn's sixth, no, fifth house, her fifth house of home in Capricorn. Hmm, hmm, almost seeing them exactly opposite. So Pandora, 4 degrees Capricorn, Aphrodite, yeah, 0 degrees Cancer. I gotta say, that feels like it's within the range of orb to be an opposition. So I'm sure everyone born at her around her birth time would perhaps have the same kind of oppositional. So Pandora, the one who opened up the box, though she was told not to, um, sitting in Marilyn's house of joy, creativity, children, how she expresses herself out in the world. So let's just imagine Pandora or Marilyn opening up Pandora's box in this fifth house. She was able to express herself in many ways. I can be corrected, but I thought she really wanted to be taken seriously as an actress. And yet it was so difficult. I'm not sure if the acting was not up to par or she had been branded so much as a kitten, like a sex goddess. So it's interesting how Pandora would show up if she opened up the box and said, no, I really want to be seen as a viable actress. You open up that box and you can kind of sour some of your other brand, let's say. So that's all I wanted to share with you today. Let's try and keep it short and sweet, but it's fascinating how you can find these other layers of narrative and story. And on the Ascension Playground, one of the fun things to do is to bring in a reminding about, you remember in the days, like ancient days, being around the fire. And today, I guess our fire is more like, ah, the computer screen. So this is our collective fire is now online in Zoom, on YouTube, but we're able to share this idea of going back into the creation myths, the stories of the gods and goddesses. I hope you can play with this. Why don't you go and take a moment, go on to astro.com, pull up your natal chart, and just see, where is Aphrodite in your chart? Where is Pandora or Hera? So you can see the full range of the divine goddess, right? So just fun to see how things can work with one another. Oh, but I did want to show you before I forget, because I almost stopped. Here we go. I did want to show you if you wanted to put the lines back in to see if things are, uh, in aspect, hit chart selection. See, I almost ended, but then something told me, no, show them how to. Okay. So under this title, aspects, you can click to all objects. All right. I just clicked the one thing to all objects. Now I'm going to say, show me the chart. Click the chart. Get ready. It's going to be a little busy. So there we go. Look how busy. And yes, here's Aphrodite. And it's a skinny red line. The thicker the line, the stronger the aspect. So nice skinny line to Pandora. Now, her Saturn had a very strong, thick red line or square to her moon, which was conjunct Jupiter. That's for another day. But I just wanted to show you. Oh, yeah. And there's one other thing. Let's say she was still alive today. And we wanted to say, hey, Marilyn, do you want to know what your transits are? Like where the heavens are lining up? Let's go take a look. I look at Pandora. There's nothing really hitting her Pandora. But we can see here's transiting Mars, transiting Mercury, Venus, and the Sun. Wow, Aphrodite would be way down here. So this is where she was at birth. And because these objects in the sky are very small, they're not like a fixed star sitting there. They're moving all the time. Okay, here's Hera. Here's Pandora. Well, I don't know why, but it's showing me Hermes over here. Did Hermes suddenly become available? I don't know why it's showing me. It looks like it says Hermes. Anyway, well, you made it this far. Thank you. Thank you so much for listening. And again, we made it over the 501 first subscriber. So since we're into this 501 plus, of course, the next goal YouTube wants to challenge me with is get to 1,000. I just think, in good time. But with the 501st subscriber, I did say I'd like to offer some free mini astrology readings, whether it's galactic or Western. Probably just do galactic primarily, but I'll give you a free little mini reading if you send me your natal information at theascensionplayground@gmail.com. Got that? Theascensionplayground@gmail.com. And the first 5 people to send me their information, I'll just put you on a list and get to your free little mini when time allows. I think I already have 1 person, so there's room for 4 more. Take care, and thank you for joining me on the Ascension Playground. Bye, everybody.